Season 16 Irelia is an unbelievably OP pick if you know how to build it and play it correctly. And in this video, I'm going to show you the build aspect, and later on I'll release a gameplay video explaining exactly my thoughts and my understanding of Irelia this season. All right, everybody, that's the build right here. That's all there is to it for you dopamine gamers who just want to see the finished build. You don't care too much about items. That's it right there. If you want to stick around a little bit and hear about the idea behind the build, what's different and why we're building different items this season, stick around and we're just about to get into all of that. So, what you have to understand about the difference between last season and this season and why we're building different items is last season there was a lot more grouping and team fighting. And for Irelia, when you're grouping and team fighting, the most important stat to have are resistances. If you have resistances, you're actually able to survive a lot of the CC and damage of the enemy team. I'm sure you've had the experience in the past as an Irelia player where you've got into a team fight, you've tried to kill the enemy ADC, and you just get CC'd and one shot by the enemy team. That's all happened. That's happened to all of us, right? So last season you were kind of forced to group, especially with, for example, the Arakan being alive. You kind of had to build so that at 20 minutes you could join the team fight, win the Arakan fight, and win the game off that. But this season, because of the introduction of tower plates, because of the removal of Arakan, because there are fewer objectives, Irelia's ability to snowball in the side lane is much, much higher. So this season, instead of building resistances, you want to build whatever situational item wins you the side lane. Now, resistances don't necessarily win you the side lane because in 1v1 or 1v2 situations, you actually have the ability to kill the enemy champions before they kill you. They don't have enough damage or CC to kill you if you're building actually useful damaging items. So this is how we arrive at this build. Now, first of all, the first big thing that we have to talk about in terms of the build is going to be the boots. So when it comes to your choice of boot, you're not necessarily thinking about the team fights or about the 5v5, like what boot is the best for the 5v5. What you're thinking about is how do I win my 1v1 in the side lane? So let's say even if the enemy team is 3 AP champions, but you're versus a Yone mid, it's actually superior to build tabbies in order to ensure that you win your 1v1 and you're able to exert maximum pressure and win your side lane as hard as possible. So between Mercs or tabbies, you're not really thinking as much anymore about the team fights. You're really just thinking about what boot is going to win me the side lane the hardest between tabbies or Mercs. Now, the rest of the build will just start with Bork. Now, in the past, this is a bit of a small tangent from, like the completed items, but still good to talk about. Every game, you want to go D-Shield, D-Blade, sorry. I haven't built D-Shield in about, I don't know, like 500 games. It's just not good anymore. There's not a matchup that you need D-Shield on, especially with the new home guards. You can always find a base and reset if you're getting poked down in lane. So never, ever, ever go D-Shield. Now, in terms of how you build towards a Bork, in the past you would go Vamp Scepter Rush usually. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm always going Pickaxe first, then Recurve Bow, and then a Vamp Scepter. The reason for this is if you can just complete the pickaxe is the most annoying item to complete of all the components because it doesn't have a component itself. Let's say you're sitting on, let's say you buy your Vamp Scepter and then you die at 600 gold. What are you going to build here? Just one dagger? Well, if you rush pickaxe, then you can at least get a longsword dagger like this, or maybe even you have enough for a longsword, or maybe you can just complete a recurve bow like this. So it's just a lot nicer to complete Bork with pickaxe rush, and also it's just probably her nicest component. Like the damage you get after getting pickaxe is absolutely insane. So Bork, of course, 100% of the games you're going. I'm going Hullbreaker 100% of my games. I know I saw in Irel King's video, he no longer builds this. I still build it. It's just very, very nice stats for Irelia. The HP feels really nice, and the amount of damage that you get is very crazy with the passive, just as well as your ability to push in side lane with the cannon minion. It just feels very nice to have this item still. Some people don't like it. I personally like it. So, that's when we get to the situational items here. And actually, one thing to mention is that 100% of my games, I'm also going Kraken. I forgot to include this in the build, but this is 100% of my games. I'm going these three as a core build. Beyond this point, this is where we stray into the situational items. Now, what's important to understand about the situational items is, again, much like the boots, we're building the fourth and fifth item to win the side lane, to win the 1v2, to be able to put as much threat on the enemy opponent, to be able to exert as much pressure as possible. So let's say you're at your three items. What item is going to give you the most benefit in the side lane? Well, if you're against some kind of armor and you need a source of armor, Death Dance is pretty straightforward. It's just a very good item for Irelia if you need that source of armor. Voltaic Cyclo Sword, I'll show some clips at the end of like more specific situations I buy all these items, but Voltaic Cyclo Sword feels really, really good if you're against a squishy or a mobile target in the side lane. Think about a mage, right? Like if you're against Orianna. If you Q on her and you just proc the slow, you proc the damage, it's just incredibly, incredibly difficult for her to escape you with the amount of damage this item gives you. Of course, Mortal Reminder, I would build this item versus, let's say, you're side laning against a Volibear. Let's say you're side laning versus a Zaheen. Let's say you're side laning versus another champion that heals a lot in side lane. That's not necessarily coming to mind right now. This item is very, very good because, again, this might not be the best item to win team fights because maybe you would want some resistances at this point. But if you're able to just kill your opponent in the side lane because of this item, you're going to be gaining such a big advantage over the entire map. Now, I really like to finish off items, my build with Guardian Angel as a sixth item. Usually I don't reach six items in my game. I'm usually ending beyond that point, but this is still a very good item to buy if you just need some other kind of item to buy. And Serpent's Fang, very self-explanatory. I, for example, am about to show you a game where I faced Ryze in the side lane. They had a Seraphine, and they had an Ivern in that game. So Ryze, Seraphine, Ivern. Ryze obviously had his Seraph shield, so just a lot of shielding. And this item, again, allowed me to win the side lane because I could actually 1v2 with the use of the shield cut. And then IE, this is actually just an item that I go to round out my build. Let's say I have Mortal Reminder, or LDR is very viable if you, let's say you want a source of the armor pin. Let's say you're against a Malphite. If I'm against a Malphite, and I have to win side against a Malphite, I'll actually just build this item. So, either of these items is okay if you need that armor pin to win the side lane. And if you have, let's say, your LDR or your Mortal Reminder, Infinity Edge can be actually nice to just cap off the build. So these are all the situational items. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys around.